Chief Meteorologist Ross Whitley with your first alert forecast.
Allergens remain in the moderate category, but the dry weather has helped to reduce this just a touch. It was in the high category for several weeks. Bayberry grasses and oak remain pollinators. Air quality remains on the good side. The UV index staying very high as well, so if you are headed to the beach or out on the boat, make sure you got the sunscreen or whatever it may be as you're outdoors. It takes only about 45 minutes to an hour with the UV about that high to burn. We'll start tomorrow off like we did today with some cloud cover around and then mix out into the afternoon. 81 now in Bluntstown, 76 in Marietta, 75 in Apalachicola. You got 77 in Panama City and 80 in Defuniak Springs. Our Gulf water still sitting at 72 offshore. The near shore water temperatures warmed up to about 73, 74 in spots. And we've got warmer air across much of the country as the ridge has taken control. There's still some cooler air back off to the north and west, but not a ton of it, and lots of humid conditions as well. That comes in the form of our dew point. And you'll note off to our south, we don't have that high pressure circulation anymore, but we still have that standing wave. That's thanks to easterlies. The winds working across the peninsula, that kind of puts a high pressure or a version of it just off to our south. And whenever we get this type of pattern, that can lead to dry conditions outside of the humidity. Thankfully, we did pinch out a couple of showers and storms today with the convergence of the sea breeze off of the Forgotten Coastline and the Emerald Coastline, right in our sea breeze favored locations for that. That's going to be northern Calhoun County, Jackson County, northern Bay, Washington, and then far eastern portions of Holmes County. That's typically your sea breeze favored locations, depending on the wind direction and how fast the prevailing wind is moving. Drought has been designated in our area. We're now in D1 drought across basically the entirety of the Panhandle, meaning we need about 1 to 3 inches of rain to catch up. Say Alpha probably caught up today with about 3 inches of rain there. With the dry conditions, we've had quite a bit of brush fires across the area, so we're not in need of rain to catch up on groundwater. Really only about 1 to 3 inches of rain is needed for that. It's the vegetation that has dried out over several days, a lack of rain, several weeks of lack of rain, and the humidity mixing out in the afternoon. That just means that if you start a fire when our humidity is down, like say 12 or noon to about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, fire can spread quickly because the vegetation is ready to burn. Friday, we'll actually keep the relative humidity in that moderate range, but on Saturday, we'll actually mix out more of the moisture thanks to higher temperatures. So the warmer temperatures will help that moisture to come out of the air. So on Saturday, there'll be a better chance of fire spreading if you're burning during that mix out time in the afternoon. 66 to 64 overnight tonight. Fog is certainly possible. 83 to 90 for the day tomorrow. But it is, again, going to start out very similar to what we did today. Fog and cloud cover in the morning. And then as we go into the afternoon, we'll mix all of that out. A possibility of a stray shower or thunderstorm, mostly north of I-10 for tomorrow. And really only about a 10 to 20% chance at that. Same thing on Saturday. And then Sunday, we do have a washed out boundary that'll come in, and late in the day, we could start to see some showers and storms, maybe a little more favored for inland areas. Monday, coastal areas might get in on the action, maybe again on Tuesday. Still crossing the fingers on that because rain chances is only around 30%.
Maybe a nice rainy Sunday afternoon.
Rainy Sunday afternoon, I would take it.
Me too. All right, thanks, Rob.